Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. A local young man shows off his photojournalism skills, and a local young lady wins a unique competition.
Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Aaron Basaro, a 2012 Oxford High School graduate, was recently selected by Central Michigan University to participate in an elite photojournalism workshop led by world-renowned photographer Danny Wilcock Frazier. The overall project will involve 13 other photojournalists who, together with Basaro, will create a final product entitled Fences, Faces of Migration. The photos will tell a pictorial story of how migration or immigration and the people who come here to impact our state and nation. The segment Basaro is involved in is called Migrants in Michigan and depicts the story of Hispanic migrant workers who regularly migrate to our farms and fields. And very creative work it is, and he's from Oxford. We back home in Oxford wish you the very best.
Over the Christmas holidays, many churches and communities came together to make it a truly Merry Christmas for others in our community. The Oxford Edison Youth Assistance Organization teamed up with the Emmanuel Congregational Church to provide treats and visits from Santa. In addition, the local food pantry, Orion Oxford Fish, provided Christmas meals, and in Leonard, the Leonard United Methodist Church held a free winter coat giveaway for adults and children in need. If you're interested in contributing to families in need throughout the year, there are many local churches and organizations who help others in our community all year long. So search around and find out.
For those of you who missed this year's Christ the King Church on West Drainer Road in Oxford Township hosts a spectacular stage production of The Little Drummer Boy. The story, written by Steve Harms and directed by Tim Bogert, both local Christ the King parishioners. The story takes you to a quest to witness the fulfillment of prophecy, as the audience would not soon forget. Music, song, and great acting provided by the church's local talent seamlessly gave the packed theater an outstanding performance. Hopefully this production of The Little Drummer Boy will become a tradition at Christ the King Church next year. If so, don't miss it.
For the second time, 15-year-old Oxford High School sophomore Sarah Lifford has received the Oakland County Circuit High Point Saddle distinction. At the annual Oakland County Equestrian Competition, the award was given solely to the top performer. To win, Lifford competed against 20 other highly skilled competitors. She began her riding career at the age of 7 and has held other titles representing the 4-H Oakland County Queen and representing the equestrians in all of those instances. Congratulations, Sarah. We're proud of you.
At the December meeting of the Oxford Village Council, consideration was given to the possibility of selling the former township building at 18 West Burdick, and council members Maureen Helmuth suggested that the building be brought up to code and then rented out.
The building's been sitting there vacant for how many years now?
2006.
Exactly. But not all of that was ours. I think we bring it up to code and rent it to anybody we can without giving up the parking. I mean, they might use it, we can include that in the rent. Otherwise, let's tear it down and make it parking.
Oxford Township Supervisor Bill Dunn gave his opinion on how the council should proceed.
I agree with some of the people here that if you sell it off and it's an island by itself, you're pretty much limiting what you can do to it later. You know, they can hold out, they can do whatever. I think you're giving away all your options if you sell it. If you're going to sell it, sell the whole damn thing, but don't put yourself in a box.
Council voted to look at the options at their January meeting.
At this month's DDA meeting, the board reviews the success of the holiday soup stroll. DDA Secretary Bill Dunn had some suggestions for improvement.
I think we should keep in mind next year, if we're going to have good weather, we should tell the people that are going to be putting out the soup that we need more. I happened to be right where they were selling tickets, right by the Ox. I went through like three or four large vats of soup, and we were out at 7 o'clock.
Jerry Cremens, board member and owner of Sullivan's Public House, agreed.
Or recommend to put something on the menu that they actually have on their regular menu anyway, so they could, that's what we did, because we didn't expect half, I mean, we expected 300, or what we had last year, but, you know, we ran out of a certain, you know, about 4 gallons of potato leek, but then we still were able to substitute it with another soup that we have in-house that's in big production, so.
Cremens also wondered when 2 new village businesses will open. DDA Vice Chair Susan Bessardet commented on the timeline for both.
Falling down, Dave is doing a lot of the preliminary work because he's going to add 2 stories onto that building.
Okay.
So he needs to do the support work inside, homegrown. And they don't think they're going to be open till June. So, but that's just, you know, thought process right now.
I mean, usually.
They're gutting the inside of that. They've done a lot of work inside the building,
Rule of
so.
thumb, add 3 months to what you think is going
Yeah.
to happen, you know?
And surveillance cameras just may have the answer to who caused major damage to a new truck parked in an empty parking lot beside the Collier's bowling alley this week. Vandals damaged the body of the vehicle and slashed both the Tahoe cover and the tires. Police have the surveillance tape and are currently reviewing in anticipation of identification of the suspect or suspects, and the case remains open.
Again, surveillance tapes were able to assist police in identifying a suspect who was spotted by loss prevention eating food right in the store. As the chow hound was munching his way through candy bars and food, a Myers store detective was able to scan their computer base, checking for the man's face and description against pictures of past offenders. The past record showed that the store did not press charges. However, he was told never to come into the store again or any Myers property. This time, security pressed charges and turned him over to the police. As the man was led away, he could be heard saying, "Next time, he will have to take his business to Kroger's." Good luck.
And it's believed that a Hunter's stray bullet was the cause of an upper story window being shot out at an Oakwood Road residence. Luckily, according to the resident, the upper story room was only used for storage. No other bullet holes were found. But people have to be careful, hunters.
What's
They're shooting.
going on? I'm
Bullets are
telling
coming
you.
in this way.
I
that
know.
way.
Is it even hunting season, or was somebody just randomly shooting bullets? I don't know.
Too close to population, obviously.
Yeah. We live in quite a densely populated neighborhood, and we hear bullets or
Yeah.
guns going off all the time.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's safe.
What do you think about these folks, though, that go through Myers and other grocery areas and they're munching as they go?
What are they thinking? They must be really starving. But, you know, on this one, this guy was eating candy bars and stuff. So if he's going to risk stealing food, why not go get the protein and cheese and meat? That just seems kind of crazy.
He was probably eating that for the long haul. You never know.
He should have putting the cheese in his pockets
Put
and
the
eating
cheese
the
in his
candy
pockets.
bars now. You know, we report week after week after week that surveillance cameras are being placed everywhere, and the police are able to review them all the time. Why don't people think about that? That Big Brother is watching, for
And
heaven's
I
sakes.
think eventually they'll see drones. They'll chase these people from the parking lot, make the arrest out. In the,
You know, we should patent that and make some
Hey,
good money.
we could work on that
We-
idea.
We could. We'd still work here because we love being here, but that would be a good idea. So you had a good Christmas holiday?
Oh, wonderful. Grandchildren, the whole deal.
Really nice. There's nothing
Yep.
more important than having family
Got a little
around.
3-year-old, and I know you have little ones
Yes,
too.
we got a 3-year-old and,
They're so
and a
fun.
1-year-old. Yeah, way fun. That
Yeah.
makes Christmas. It was delightful.
They open all their gifts, and that's the fun part of it. As you
It
folks
sounds
know
like
out
the
there.
community had a pretty decent Christmas too. We're hoping that you did. And now it's New Year's, and
Yeah.
I'd like to say Happy New Year's to everybody out there.
Yes, me too.
And same to you. And
Thank
have
you.
a safe New Year's, and
You too.
safe to you. That's it for Oxford News this week. If you want to learn more about these stories and others, stop by your local store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, catch us right here on Charter Channel 191, AT&T Channel 99, and Leonard, you stay put because you're on Channel 19.
And coming up next on Oxford News and for this week, boy, I mumbled that one, didn't I? Catch Oxford Sports and Jamie Hughes. Oxford School News with John Ochins then, and join Dave Kenny with Auto Talk and Science in the News. Hey, boy, I muddled through that,
We
didn't I?
got through it. I'm Terry Stiles, and this is Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. And thanks for watching, and be good to your friends and neighbors, huh? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, SpaceX's upgraded Falcon 9 rocket delivered 11 satellites into orbit before landing upright at Cape Canaveral, Florida, December 1st, less than a month after rival company Blue Origin returned a rocket to Earth from the edge of space. It was SpaceX's first launch since June, when a Falcon 9 delivering cargo to the International Space Station exploded shortly after launch, and its third attempt to execute a safe landing. SpaceX, founded by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, and Blue Origin, founded by Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, have been racing to develop reusable rockets in their quest to make spaceflight more affordable. Welcome to the club, Bezos tweeted. The launch, carrying satellites for communications company Orbcomm, was the first time an orbital rocket's booster stage had been brought back to a landing site near its origin. Most rockets are designed for a single use and dumped in the sea after separating from their payload. It's been a very celebratory atmosphere here at SpaceX. I think people are really overjoyed, Musk said in a media conference. It cost $16 million to make a Falcon 9 and $200,000 to fuel it. SpaceX won't try to fly the landed rocket soon, but it will perform a static fire test to check if it still works, Musk said. SpaceX plans to start launching manned missions with Falcon 9 in 2017. In our next story, whether it's a post-party kebab or a midnight fridge raid, we are all guilty of eating when we should be sleeping, as well as ruining our waistlines. A study in mice suggests our brains may suffer too. Mice are nocturnal and eat throughout the night. To find out what happens when this pattern is disturbed, Dawn Lowe and her colleagues at UCLA fed one group of mice between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m., while another group only had access to food between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. The mice ate this way for 2 weeks. Although both groups slept for the same amount of time, the mice that fed during the day had more frequent, shorter bouts of sleep. Their circadian rhythms were out of sync, which affected levels of protein, including one important for learning and memory. The misaligned mice also performed less well on memory tests. The study is the first evidence that the timing of meals might affect learning and memory. It's too soon to say whether those of us who indulge in late-night eating will suffer the same effects, although Lowe thinks her findings might apply to people. Night shift workers, for example, have been shown to perform less well on cognitive tests. And out in space again, there's still a lot to learn about our closest neighbor. China's U-2 moon rover has discovered a new kind of rock on the lunar surface. The find suggests the moon's makeup is more diverse than previously thought and will help interpret future satellite-based observations. China's Chang'e 3 lander mission touched down on the moon in December of 2013 and released the U-2 rover to explore the edge of a nearby crater. The landing site was in the Mare Imbrium, a large area of the moon's northern hemisphere, thought to have been formed around 3 billion years ago when lava flooded a giant crater. The more recent impact that formed the Z-Way crater in the Mare Imbrium exposed the ancient basalt rock that formed when the lava cooled, so sampling here allowed U-2 to look deep back in time. Zhongqing Ling at Shandong University in Weihai, China, and his colleagues analyzed data the rover collected on that basalt and found that concentrations of minerals, including iron oxide, calcium oxide, and titanium oxide, differ from those seen in samples gathered by the Apollo astronauts and the Russian lunar probes in the 1970s. That suggests U-2 had struck a new kind of moon rock, says Ling. It is clear that these newly characterized basalts reflect a more diverse moon than initially realized at the time of the Apollo and Luna missions. Ling expects to make further discoveries as the rover continues to analyze its surrounding. he says, and U-2 is still acquiring data, although it cannot move around for now. The Chang'e lander is still operational, scanning the lunar surface, and is using the only telescope on the moon to give us unique views of the cosmos. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. Last week we reported on the Oxford Middle School penny war that was going on. The object was to get students to contribute spare change for a worthy cause. That cause this year is the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It turns out the kids raised over $6,500 for Make-A-Wish. Way to go, kids. Oxford High School's I'm Third organization took student contributions out to Grace Center of Hope in Pontiac a few days ago. They spent an amazing week helping those in need there. The final Oxford School Board meeting was held a few days ago at Lakeville Elementary. One of the presenters there was teacher Carmen Cervantes. She has an original way of teaching Spanish.
Well, I teach daily Spanish classes, and the tools I use are original songs, chants, written sentences, vocabulary words that are written, pictures, and ASL, American Sign Language. I do not teach American Sign Language. I use it as a daily reinforcement tool, and I have witnessed numerous positive outcomes. It keeps everyone busy, engaged, and accountable. New students and guests are intrigued, they jump right in, they feel included, they're productive, and they're accomplished. It helps with daily recall. I've seen retention with vocabulary from last year when I started here, the animals, the colors, etc. Songs and chants are combined with ASL, and that gives students an easy, fun, handy tool so that they can recall information and become the Spanish teachers outside of the classroom. They understand the minute they leave my classroom, they turn into the Spanish teachers, and I'm giving them the tools right there for them to make this possible.
Senora Cervantes says kids stay actively engaged.
We are all visual learners. There you go, ASL. It gives proof of being actively engaged. I'm always reminding the students to use their eyes, hands, and mouth. Their ojos, their manos, and their boca. In this environment, no one can just show up. They sit quietly and go unnoticed. Doesn't happen. Everyone is held accountable on the spot. I can see it. If you want to see my classroom, there's no desk or chairs. I have risers, and they're all right in front of my ojos. They're using their eyes, hands, and mouth. That means you can't fake it. You can't pretend that you're actively engaged. It's not possible. It keeps the class interesting, active, and energetic on a daily basis. That's why I wear tennis shoes. And it's a daily performance for us. I have to be ready for them. They are ready for me. I never see negative attitudes in their eyes.
Even special needs kids can be involved.
We love them. And guess what? They're often mesmerized, intrigued, focused, and actively engaged. I can't tell you what I see. It's just you got to see it for yourself. Students are getting exposure to another foreign language. They're savvy shoppers. When I told them they're getting a 2-for-1, guess what? They were in.
That's Lakeville Spanish teacher Carmen Cervantes. A great part of this season is the wealth of talent we see in the holiday presentations at our schools. Clear Lake Elementary is no exception. We'd like to close with Peggy Mueller's Super Singers. Snow or not, here's Sleigh Ride. Have a super 2016.
Welcome to your weekly calendar of events, where we feature your weekly calendar of local Oxford and Addison community events, including charity, special fundraisers, and general community information. If you or your organization would like help to get your message out to the public, contact us for detailed information at our studio phone number at 248-628-9658, or you can go to our website at occtv.org. When it snows, if it snows, children ages 12 and under can enter the Oxford Parks and Recreation My Snowman and Me contest. They're looking for the best photo of your child and snowman. The winning child's picture will be featured on the front page of Oxford Township's Winter Signature Schedule of Events magazine. To qualify, submit only one photo no later than April 1st, 2016, and don't forget to include your name, address, and phone number with the entry. Entries must be portrait format, not landscape, and emailed to Lauren Smith at oxparkrec.org. Once the entries are collected from April 11th to May 27th, they will be on display at the Oxford Parks and Recreation Office, 22 West Burdick Street. Oxford Township residents then are invited to the office, where they can cast their votes for who they think should be the winner. Again, that email address for entry is Lauren Smith at oxparkrec.org. Or you can call by 248-628-1720 for additional information. Now, some fuzzy little puppy with his little nose pressed against his glass cage is waiting patiently to be adopted by a loving and caring family. The Canine Rescue League in Oxford, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on every Saturday of every month at Pet and Stuff on the corner of Drainer Road and M24, is where you'll find Dog Adoption Day. You can get more information by going to their website at dogsaver.org, or better yet, you can visit the Canine Rescue League's kennels at 2120 Metamora Road, Oxford, and select your pet right there. The Oxford Public Library has all kinds of activities and events going on each and every month. Events from adults and events for children. And many of these programs, they're free. To check it out, go to their website, miopl.org, and click on Calendar of Events. There you will find a listing of all the fun and educational programs for the month. The Oxford Pregnancy Center, located in downtown Oxford, provides compassion and services for women facing unplanned pregnancy, living in Oxford, Orion, and the surrounding areas. Remember, regardless of age, race, or income, the services are free and confidential. Did you know that you can adopt a park, and by doing so, help keep your park safe, clean, and beautiful? Your help will support the environment, your community, and quality of life. For more information, visit the Parks and Recreation website at oxparkrec.org. Because the dances are so popular every year, you might want to mark your calendar in advance for the daddy-daughter and mother-son dances. The special events are designed for children K through 6th grade. All dances will be held at the Devil's Ridge Golf Course, 3700 Metamora Road in Oxford. For dads and their daughters, they can choose February 26th or Saturday, February 27th as their special night. As for moms, the Moms and Sons dance is Saturday, March 5th. There will be music, refreshments, and a complimentary photo to capture your special time with your child. Please note, this year's theme requires formal attire. Cost is only $11 each for non-residents and $9 each for residents. But hurry, tickets are already going fast. For more information, call the Oxford Parks and Recreation Office at 248-628-1720. Now, if you have a local business, you are a local resident, or if you represent an organization wishing to show your support for our local Oxford school sports, music concerts, or any of the many programs broadcast by our television station, you could become a sponsor or an underwriter of OCTV. A promotional television spot will be created just for you, and recognition given to you by our sports announcers during the special event. It's easy and it's inexpensive. For more information, contact our station station manager, Bill Service, at 248-628-9658. Or you can send a message of interest to Bill's email address, manager@occtv.org. We at Oxford Community TV would like our television viewing public to learn more about your club or organization's special upcoming event or charity. So if you would like to get your special event mentioned on our television show, call us at 248-628-9658 or go to our website at occtv.org. Now, just one final reminder. You can locate our OCTV program schedule by going to our website, occtv.org, and clicking on Schedule. There you will find a list of OCTV broadcast programs, dates, and times. One program I highly recommend is Bill Service, who has interesting local stories and interviews on our Community Access program. Just check it out. This is Oxford Community Television, OCTV. I'm your host, Elgin Nichols. We invite you to join us again for the next segment of your weekly calendar of events.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Ford Motor Company and Google are in talks to have the automaker build Google's next-generation autonomous cars under contract, Automotive News has learned. Although few details about the project are known, a source familiar with the project says both parties have been negotiating on a contract manufacturing deal for a long time. An announcement, if finalized, could come as early as the week of January 4th during the annual International Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. A Google spokesman said the company would not comment on speculation, but Google officials confirmed that the company is talking to automakers. Ford spokesman Alan Hall neither confirmed nor denied a possible deal. Google has added 2 veteran Ford executives to its leadership team. Former Ford CEO Alan Mulally joined Google's board of directors 8 days after he retired from the automaker on July 1st of 2014. Then, in September, Google hired John Krafcik as CEO of the company's self-driving car project. Krafcik, who most recently was president of TrueCar Inc., was also CEO of Hyundai Motor America. He spent 14 years at Ford, including a stint as chief engineer during the development of the Ford Expedition SUV. Ford is scheduled to hold a press conference on January 5th in Las Vegas. CEO Mark Fields, Product Development Chief Raj Nair, Research and Advanced Engineering Vice President Ken Washington, and Don Butler, Executive Director of Connected Vehicles and Services, are scheduled to attend, so keep your ears peeled. And at BMW, the BMW M2 Coupe and X4 M40i crossover make their world debuts at January's Detroit Auto Show. The M2, the latest addition in BMW's M lineup, features a 3-liter 6-cylinder engine with 365 horsepower. The M2, when equipped with the optional M double-clutch transmission, has a 0 to 60 time of 4.2 seconds compared with 4.4 seconds when equipped with a 6-speed manual gearbox. The M2 will hit U.S. showrooms in spring, and pricing will be announced later, BMW said. The 2016 X4 M40i sports crossover, based on the X4 xDrive 350i, comes equipped with a turbocharged 3.0-liter 6-cylinder engine with 355 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 4.7 seconds. It will go on sale in the U.S. showrooms in February, and pricing will be announced around that time. BMW's Auto Show stand will also feature the 330e and 740e plug-in hybrids and X1 crossover and i8 hybrid sports car, the company said in a statement. And on the recall front, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles is recalling over 55,600 Jeep Cherokee SUVs for a problem with power liftgate components that could lead to a fire. 6 months ago, FCA recalled more than 164,000 Cherokees for the same problem. FCA said the recall is to replace a shield that protects power liftgate components, that is, and other parts from moisture. The parts can short-circuit if exposed to water, potentially leading to a fire. The recall covers 2015 and 2016 Cherokees with power liftgates produced after February 18th. FCA said it is unaware of any injuries or accidents related to the problem. The automaker said it will replace the moisture shields for free if there are signs of water leaking into the power liftgate control module. Affected customers will be notified by FCA. In the meantime, FCA said cargo areas in the affected Cherokees should be monitored and kept dry. And at Ford Motor Company said it will recall 313,000 older cars for headlight failures linked to 11 crashes, as well as 4,700 vans, pickups, and mid-sized trucks for assorted issues. The automaker said it's recalling 2003 to 2005 Ford Crown Victoria and Mercury Grand Marquis vehicles to replace the lighting control module. The module solder joints could crack and interrupt power to the headlights, increasing the risk of a crash at night. The Ford Crown Victoria was often used as a police vehicle or taxis before the automaker phased it out in 2011. The recall covers over 296,000 cars in the United States, over 14,700 in Canada, and the remainder in Mexico. Dealers will replace the lighting control module. Ford separately issued 3 other small recalls covering about 4,700 vehicles. It's recalling 177, that is, 2016 Ford F650 and F750 trucks to replace the rear air brake chamber due to a defect that could cause a leak and an inadvertent application of the parking brake or diminished braking performance. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.